Welcome back to Paper Trail. It's your boys Mohammed and Sharks, and yeah, today we're going to be talking a bit more about what content we've been consuming lately, what's been inspiring us, just to get a bit of that energy going around, you know.
Right, damn right.
What are we about this season?
Aesthetic productivity.
Yes.
God damn, right?
Yes.
What was that?
Now,
We said
this-
that last week?
We said it in the last couple episodes now, but now so. This season, we want to share more about like what we've been consuming and what's been inspiring us, because that's the whole perspective that we've been trying to aim for since we started this. It's not just about reading books, talking about creativity non-stop,
Absolutely.
Because like you can't always just produce. So like you've got to naturally consume things in the environment to get back into like creating as well.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things that we didn't talk about in the Ali Abdal episode, but he talked about like getting into environments where like grass, nature, like that's actually energizing for you. We didn't talk about it as well. He had like a list of energizing things and a list of things that you think are energizing, but they're actually energizing, like just sitting around watching Netflix all day. Like for me, I'm naturally introverted, but massively over the last 2 years, maybe I would say, like massively, if I go out and see friends, like I feel so much better.
Yeah. Oh, that's adorable.
Whereas before, I was appalling. I was like, I can't be bothered, man.
Damn.
Yeah, I was appalling.
Yeah.
I actually really get energized now. Like I don't know what's changing in me, but I come out of.
You know what? It's just being more human. That's what it is, man.
You said I was a bit of an animal before.
Like I said, before you was that whispering shadow corner guy. You know?
You know what's funny? Yeah, back in the day, like I had a couple of nicknames in it.
Yeah.
Like from friends in it. One friend that I went to secondary school with, I walked with him every day. Yeah. I love about it. Yeah. He used to call me lazy mo because I would never come out.
Yeah.
And then I came lanky mo. I was like, oh, God.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a great crazy growth spurt, right?
Yeah.
So like the funny thing is, I hated the lazier one. Like the lazy one made me feel really bad. Yeah, because I'm not lazy. I've never been lazy, but because I never came out.
That is true. You weren't really like, obviously your younger brother was a bit more free
100%.
and outgoing. Than, you know what I mean? You find you on the attic. That's where I used to find you on the computer. You know what I mean? After you've been roaming the streets of RuneScape, and you know.
Yeah, the big factor about that is my family. I come from a big family. I'm the oldest boy, right? Yeah. So because I had a lot of responsibility at home, I just felt like I didn't have time for friends in it. And I was always in my grind mode. Like I was never happy with my life, like growing up. So I was like, I need to grind in it. Like I ain't got time. I ain't got time for no friends from young,
It was
bro.
on that level,
I was in primary school talking about that. My mom's telling me, yo, how come you never bring your friends over? I ain't got time.
Just gonna make this money.
Yeah, like, man, using vouchers to get milk. Talking about friends. I'll tell my mom, man, you gotta get up out of here. So yeah, man, like that's what I was on. Like I was genuinely on that, like secondary school and college. Like so, I was genuinely on that, like all the time. So I feel like that kind of embedded into myself. When I started working full time, like back when I was 19, right? I was also like I genuinely didn't have time. I was always packing myself. My calendar was so much stuff. So when I felt like I wanted to go out with friends and stuff, like it would genuinely make me feel like, oh, I'm missing out on something else, like all the time. That's why I limited that a lot. So I felt really bad about that over the years, because I did fade away from some friends, which is sad. Like I want to rekindle some of those friendships as well. But yeah, the last couple of years I've been really conscious about that. I think like I got married and then I realized like, yo, I gotta be more social by force now. In-laws and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
I've got someone I'm living with permanently.
There again.
Yeah. So that was a factor. So like in the beginning, I was a lot like, yo, like I can't be bothered. I'm working. I got to do this and then like I've got to find time with family, friends. I've got time find time for in-laws. So I really didn't enjoy that. And like over the last couple of years, I've been trying to come to terms with that. Like, yo, what's the point of like just feeling negative about that all the time? Innit? Like, there's no point. because you're gonna have to do it anyway. And like when you get to the point of actually doing it, like it doesn't feel as bad as it is. So like I've been really focusing on that. So like like I went out with the in-laws the other night, for example, and like that was very spontaneous. Like I finished work and I just went with them.
Yeah.
And then like in the beginning I was like, oh, I can't go. But then I was like, yo, you need to fix up. Like end of the day, like you're here. You're already doing it. Why are you gonna complain about it?
Why would you not enjoy it now?
Yeah. So I enjoyed myself. At the end of the night, I was begrudgingly saying to myself, "Yo, wasn't that bad? Food was good."
That's what it is, man. This is that aesthetic productivity, man.
Mm-hmm. So now, I'm trying to really like spend more time communicating with friends and like socializing a bit more. Had a couple more trips with friends and family. So yeah, I'm trying to. That's kind of energizing me a bit more this year. But yeah, what about yourself? How do you find like communicating, socializing? I feel like you're more reachable these days. You know.
I mean, to be fair, I think I've kind of always been reachable.
Oh.
No, not so much phone calls.
You guys watch if you watch The Boys, yeah, and you see Black Noir. There was literally 1 year where I changed his name on my phone to Black Noir, and I changed the picture of it because he never pick up his phone.
Nah, you know what? The phone calls is an interesting one, but I feel like I've kind of been more sociable in person.
Yeah,
you know, in person it's a completely different kind of thing. I feel like because now I feel further away from everyone. You know, more ostracized. But then again, everyone's kind of grown up.
What do you mean further away from someone?
Like in terms of like when I moved house, because where I used to live before, everyone it would just be a flipping community youth center in my house, you know. But then afterwards, now
you said that.
Now no one wants to come to Harlesden, you know, which makes sense. My friend had this car window smashed into it, and your bag got robbed. You know what I mean?
Bag?
Yeah.
It was his bag with my laptop in it, my expensive laptop.
Oh yeah, that's what you care about.
Yeah, I'm serious. Right? I don't care about the whole beer.
Yeah, so that's obviously it makes sense.
Oh man, your car got crashed into.
That's my laptop.
I heard about the laptop.
Yeah,
damn.
Yeah. Nah. That was a tough one, man. That guy took the that was wild. That was a dark time.
That's the funny thing. That's the biggest loss that occurred in that situation.
Yeah.
Because the car window isn't that expensive to replace, you know?
Yeah. But his bag had his old uni stuff.
So you guys are easily replaceable, man. Nothing, you can self-study nowadays.
Hey, turn it back into the shadow whispering mode. Absolutely. But so like I felt like to say ostracized is actually not the right word.
That's a bit crazy.
Yeah, that's a bit wild.
Guy got exiled from his tribe, you know?
But so it was kind of a weird kind of thing. And I feel like on calls and stuff like that, I've never been that great. And it's not like even
neither have I. I've never been
there. But I feel like you're more reachable than, let's say, me.
That's what I'm saying, Black Noir.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is. It's not like it's a personal thing. It's just kind of.
I know it's not a personal thing.
It's just I don't know.
I picked up on that, brother.
Yeah. So it's just kind of.
If it was a personal thing, I'd have been offended a long time ago, bro.
Yeah. Nah, I can't. It's never that. But so that's what.
And that's the funny thing. I feel like me reaching out to you, there's more, like, not respect, but I feel like there's more emphasis on. Okay, I should probably pick up. I feel like you probably have me in a higher regard than some other friends because of we do Inspyre and all that stuff.
Of course.
So I feel like for my other friends, they're trying to contact you is even worse.
I'm never here for you. When they only see me in person, they're like, yo, what the hell happened to you? You know what I mean? Like,
but I don't get that feeling in person.
Nah. Of course, in person, it's a whole different kind of thing. But what was I saying? Something about black people.
What? I don't know, but
so I think for me, I was just kind of more on the sociable aspect. I'm a lot better in thing, and I've always kind of felt energized by when we've linked up. I think I haven't suffered before from a friendship kind of burnout kind of thing, because like I said, like in my house, everyone would be there. Like I'd wake up and then everyone's just having breakfast, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, there's no milk, and I'll be like, fair enough. And then I'll go get bread. Yeah, it's just my friends telling me this. They're like, I tried to go get bread, they're like, oh, you know, your younger brother's going to go get it. And like I have friends, so I just have to wait for things to. So like from the night to like the morning, someone was just always around kind of thing. So I never like have social kind of a burnout thing. Like I said, if anything, it proper energizes everything. Yeah.
So we're talking about that because we're gonna talk about like what inspires you, right? So what have you been like consuming lately, like the last couple of months?
You know, lately that it's been very hard for me to like binge watch things. It's been hard for me for a while now. But one thing that I've been binge watching is
binge watching healthy?
I mean, I don't know.
Should it be something we're happy that we're binge watching?
Yeah, I mean, it's not normal, that's for sure. Like I said, it's because of the
when you talk about
internet
normality, it is normal though.
Now because the internet is, but before I remember like Prison Break was like crack, right, for me. But I had to wait. I remember it was like every Sunday that it would come on, and I'd have to wait for the next Sunday. And I think maybe that made it better. But now the fact that I can be like, oh, I'll just come back for the show like whenever the hell I want.
You can watch anything,
anytime.
It's crazy.
But one thing, so it's been hard. I remember the last thing that I proper binge watched like years ago, which was like Suits. Then actually Game of Thrones, to be fair, and then Killing Eve.
I never watched it.
Yeah, but I mean, I've
it's
checked
one of the ones I wrote off just from looking at it.
Nah, I checked on Reddit that apparently season 3 and 4 is garbage, but on Disney they only have like the first 2 seasons.
Okay.
So I've just been watching that. So I mean, the first season like there's only like 8 episodes or something, and
what's been keeping?
Wow, it's just firstly it's done by a great writer that I admire, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, the one that did Fleabag. So
I don't watch that either.
Yeah, that was also elite.
Film
stuff.
or it's
No, it's like a series. I think there's only like 2 seasons as well.
Okay.
She kind of like just does these short kind of things. I think it was like a book that was she's adapted. But yeah, so it's about this crazy serial killer. Not serial killer. She's actually like a hitwoman.
Assassin.
Assassin. And then and then there's Eve, which is like part of the MI6 and whatnot. And then they're like, she's doing cases, she's killing, and then they're kind of like slowly finding each other, but then they both kind of admire each other's work. And then there's a moment where she's about to kill someone, and then she sees Eve in the toilet. This is when the first characters, and she's always changing identities, Right. So Eve doesn't know who she is, and she doesn't know who Eve is, but they kind of know of each other. And then she just looks at her and then just kind of goes off to kill someone.
Why don't you just have a nemesis like that?
Yeah. And then eventually they come in closer and closer because now the killer is also a psychopath. She likes this kind of stuff. Yeah, so she's now found out where Eve lives in some crazy way. And then she sent her gifts and clothes and stuff, and she knows it's from that girl. And now then eventually they kind of meet. And then when they meet, there's this like sort of more respect than there is animosity. Because the Eve girl, she's kind of tapped because she kind of is like, wow, this is an intriguing way to kill someone, you know? And the other one's obviously a psychopath. So and then I was like, wow, they're
both challenging each other.
And then season 1 kind of ends, to spoil it for whoever's listening. Do you even want to watch this? Should I tell you?
I ain't gonna watch it.
All right, cool. So then what happens is they meet again in France, right? Because the girl lives in Paris. And then they're like talking, and everyone thinks, oh, maybe they'll like kick it off, they'll be pals or something. Because she's trying to leave the assassin world and whatever.
Right.
And this and that. And then
opposite happens.
Eve stabs her. And then she takes it as, oh, she must really like me.
What?
She's a psychopath. So then the next season kicks off like that. And then I was like, wow. And then, so now I'm kind of like into the 3rd episode of the 2nd season. And I was like, this is some...
How is it inspiring you then?
What, to kill people?
Are you just enjoying it?
The
writing?
I think it's that, like I said, I think... Especially with the Phoebe, right? If we talk about the writer.
Is she acting as well?
She's not acting. Okay. Nah. She's not like Lin-Manuel Miranda. That guy will put himself right in the middle of the main character.
Would you do that? Would you ever do that? If you ever made a series like...
It depends, innit? It depends if I can almost act out the...
Like Stan Lee.
But for example, she was like, I can't do this. And she probably couldn't do the parts that these girls are doing. So she's taking herself out of it. But Lin is like... the most handsome character he'll write up, but he's like, yep, that's me. I'm gonna be. Doesn't cast cool no one, you know. But like, yeah. So her style of writing is like very good in terms of bringing that drama, but then adding that comedy aspect kind of to it. And I feel like if I was ever writing a script or something like that, or like a book, I'd kind of want that humor around it. And like I said, even Donald Glover, he admires her work in being able to bring the comedy into the drama rather than like, here's a joke, here's a joke, here's a joke, here's a joke. This is just a comedy show, you know? So yeah.
Is there anything else that's like
other than that,
outside of shows? Any games you've been playing?
Nah, I ain't been playing games like that, to be fair. What has it been? I feel like there is something, but I'll have to remember it. What about you? What about you?
So like this is the first book I've picked up in probably over, I think since we stopped the last season.
Oh, Katt Williams.
Or comedy shows.
Yeah. And
you
also,
see the whole thing the other day. What was it about? I didn't even pick up.
No, the Katt Williams thing was wild. So basically, he is gunning for the whole industry.
Yeah.
The whole Hollywood industry kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he's going for a guy called Ricky Smiley. He's going for Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, all these kind of guys.
I saw like Christopher Martin and Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah. So all these guys here, he's like, you know, essentially his whole kind of thing, how it kind of started off with him. He's talking with this Shannon Sharp guy, which is an athlete, and he's kind of like, you know, they were on his podcast and they were talking about some stuff that he didn't like and bringing themselves up.
Katt Williams got a podcast?
No, it was on the Shannon Sharp podcast that he invited all these Ricky Smiley guys on and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he was like, these guys can't be talking like this.
Yeah.
Like they're, you know, up there.
They're geniuses.
Yeah, when some of them like have taken jokes and this and that. And he's like, and I'm embarrassed by you allowing this to happen.
Ooh, what a guy.
You know, and he's like, because you can't promote people, an athlete, if he's on steroids, are you going to come up here and say they're the top 10, this and that? And then so the question comes is like, okay, well, like Kevin Hart, for example, he's reached like this. And he's like, yeah, because he sold out. And then that's when...
That's the thing, though.
He kind of gets
with like comedy, it's a lot about delivery, not just... storytelling.
No, and in terms of like, then that's when he kind of goes into like the whole Hollywood thing of like, you know, people have to do madnesses to get to it. So and he talks about Ludacris having to do a madness, and he said he's turned down hella money to make sure he's squeaky clean, and his integrity isn't.
It's funny because there was a couple. There was a video when when he was off the scene for a bit, he was doing madnesses.
He looks like a homeless guy.
And he got beaten up by a 15-year-old kid.
Yo, they were the headlock right now, red naked choke.
The thing is, he's a small, skinny guy, so you can't expect him to fight.
But he's incredibly funny, though. I can't lie.
I would say it's between him and Dave Chappelle. The whole time.
100%.
I haven't watched the new Dave Chappelle because I didn't think the last one was that funny, you know.
Which was the last one?
I think he dropped like last. It was remember he got the Netflix deal and he dropped like 3 in 1. And those were decent, and then he dropped another one after. I don't know if it was 2 years ago or last year. But I wasn't feeling that one like that. But this one everyone's saying is good, but I'll have to watch it because the last one everyone was saying was good as well. But Katt Williams I find more funny because like his delivery, like Dave Chappelle's delivery, like I feel like when he got big, his delivery wasn't as funny. Like when he was skinny, he was ridiculous.
Especially the crackhead jokes. They hit a lot more.
His delivery was insane. His delivery was literally insane back then. But like now, I feel like he's more like, I'm funny. We all know I'm funny now. I want to make a joke. You're all gonna laugh. It might be a good joke.
But you know one thing I was going to say, even with the Katt Williams things, the reason why I mentioned it, not just because it was a funny podcast, but also because he was talking about something in the thing. To be fair, he was gunning for Kevin Hart quite a lot. They've had a little thing going because Kevin Hart just calls him bitter.
I was gun for Kevin Hart too if I was a comedian.
You know, but he was talking about guys that should be at the top are ones that are poignant with what they say. So it's one thing to like just tell a joke for the hell of it. Like, and then I started thinking back to like some of the stuff Kevin Hart would talk about. Like there was one of his specials where he was in his house. He was calling his daughter like scat. Essentially, because she liked boys and this and that. And there was another one where he was talking about like a half deer, half zebra running through the city and this and that. And it's just like, here's this junk food kind of comedy. Whereas like Katt Williams and Dave Chappelle have that ability to kind of tell you the ironies of life through their jokes. And
it's not just randomness for the
It's not just, it's kind of got a bit of sustenance to it. So then again, it kind of like ties into that whole like kind of how Phoebe kind of writes her stuff. And then it's like, okay, so comedy isn't let me make you laugh. It's let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of see the funniness in this kind of stuff, like Terry Pratchett, where he's talking about the normal tropes of fantasy.
Yeah.
And he's like, as gods, here's the main character coming.
Yeah.
We're going to get our asses kicked. Because that's just what happens to gods, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's a very good point, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd say that's been kind of stuff that I've been looking more so into, kind of storytelling, but also being funny through it. Because who was it that was saying? I think, was it Ali Abdal or something? No, I don't know where. No, it was actually Christo. Christo was saying, I'll never forget, I put you on him. But
He's not putting me on him, man.
You told me that yourself.
He was in my radius, but...
Nah, I don't give a damn. You told me I'll put you on. Anyways.
Okay, maybe you did.
So he was talking about like how everything that you should say should have, that audiences will remember and will enjoy. It either contains facts, story, or humor, I think it was the last one. So if it has one too many of the other stuff, people won't really like it. So if it's too factual, people. If it's too like just here's funny, people won't really kind of like it. Or if it's just too winded storytelling, people won't think, okay, you're just talking too much. So it's about coupling that all into a nice thing and then giving that to people.
It's like in the films when you see that one character that's like always waffling, like, man, I was late the other day. It's a 100-pounder.
Yeah,
the dumb guys.
Those guys.
That's very true. And yeah, it's funny because like the whole Katt Williams stuff, I felt like I agreed straight away. And then on Twitter, I saw someone post like a video of, it was like a joke about Barmalicious. Did you see that one?
Barmalicious, yeah.
Chris, Cedric the Entertainer made a joke about it. And then someone posted a joke that was made in like the 60s on TV by a black guy saying the same exact material. So I was like, that's the funny thing, because a lot of these jokes might have been presented by like, because obviously the comedians, a lot of them have teams of writers with them, so they probably proposed it. He might not even have known that. So he might someone proposed this idea to him, saying, "I'll do this malicious thing," and he probably went, "Oh, that's cool idea."
Why not?
And for them, obviously, there's comedians and then there's comedy writers. The reason why these comedy writers are there most of the time because they don't have the delivery the comedians have. So that's why they have they work for the like. It's a funny job because you would probably like to be in that kind of field, you know.
I don't know if someone forces me to have to be funny or write something that's funny. That's when I'll crumble. I'd be like, I'd have to feel it. You know what I mean? For it to, I can't sit down and write 20 jokes.
That's the thing. That's exactly what they do. Like, I hear like stand-up comedians talking about how they.
That's why late night is now tanking. And a lot of people don't like late night is because they've got.
I've never rated like
guys in. It used to be good. I can't lie. I used to like it, and then they just got guys in a room and they're just like crank it out, and they have to come up with like 20 jokes a day, and it just loses the
substance. Yeah. For me, in terms of like what I've been consuming, what inspired me, like I haven't been watching. I've been slowly watching Malcolm in the Middle. I've said it. I think I even said it last season. I don't remember.
Was it last season? I remember you saying it.
Yeah, it's been. I've been watching it like the last couple of months. You know, I've been slowly consuming like 1 or 2 episodes every couple of days. I'm on season 4 now. It's like 8, 7 seasons, but it's still maintained its strength. I keep thinking when's it gonna spiral off? Like, but like for me, like the wittiness. Like exactly what you're talking about in terms of the writers, like they're talking about like a middle American family that isn't that rich, and like they're struggling with a lot, like in that time as well, the early 2000s recession and all this stuff. They're struggling with like low end jobs, dad and the mom, and then they got 4 kids, and then the 5th kid comes in, like they're just talking about all this stuff. So like it relates to me. It's funny because Every Day is Chris related to me a lot growing up, and then I watched Malcolm in the Middle, and like as an adult now, and I'm like I would have related to this a lot as well when I was younger, but this is a lot more PG in it. But like the writing style is just so clever. I always think like, how did they come up with this stuff like repeatedly over and over?
I feel like as a kid, I completely forgot how it went. I just liked how it was.
Watching now as an adult, I guarantee you like it. But with that, it's just like they talk about all of society's ills and how like everything is just done in such a clever way where like it's not just like he's called Malcolm in the Middle because he's like the middle kid at that time, and he's always complaining about things. Like he's always complaining, "Oh, my life's unfair." Like literally, the theme song is "Life is unfair."
It's a bang theme tune as well.
He's literally every single episode he just complaining it because he's a genius and everyone else isn't. Right? So he's always complaining like, "Oh man, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here with you." absolutely bums. His family are a bunch of idiots, isn't it? But then you just see how life just repeatedly like hits him on the head. Like, doesn't matter if you're a genius, you still have to deal with all these things in life. And like, obviously, I wouldn't consider myself a genius, but like in terms of like what I want to do and where I am isn't where I want to be. So like, come to terms with a lot of things that he's dealing with as well. It's just funny, innit? So like, that's why I keep thinking about how I process things, how I deal with things. Like, there's even one episode with a therapist, and they just drive the therapist like up the wall, innit? The kids, innit? But then the therapist like just starts hitting them with stuff. So like, it's just funny. I really enjoy it. But I've also been playing games a lot more. So like, I've completed like 5 games now the last few months. Like, I'm trying to like. Because I've given up on online gaming, bro. Like, apart from FIFA, I just don't have the time in me to dedicate to getting good at online gaming. And if I don't play well, I'm not gonna enjoy it, you know. So I'm solely playing like storytelling games. Last few months, I've literally finished like every month I've finished a game. But recently I finished Assassin's Creed Mirage. I told you about it. I thought that was a good game, but it was definitely like same old Assassin's Creed. I heard before. Before I got it, like, oh, this is very, like they've actually improved it and like it's back to where it was back in the day. But it felt like I played the same game before.
That's the problem with Assassin's Creed, man. That's what I want.
How far can you go with it?
No, but it's not even just that. Everything just feels repetitive. Like the same guys you fight, the same kind of things you just do. I think, you know what broke them? Black Flag.
Yeah, it made it too good for you.
I was like the fact that I could just roam around on a ship. Sing sea shanties, you know what I mean, and then afterwards, then you kind of go back into. I think the next one they did after that
was Unity.
It was Unity, which wasn't that bad, but it was like really buggy. And then it was kind of back to how it was inside this thing. You couldn't just travel about, and the world didn't seem as dynamic. But even now, for me, it's hard to get into story games. Like I said, I don't know what happened. It cracked that Black Flag and it cracked that Far Cry 3, and those happened at the same time.
You loved it. I remember you telling me a lot.
Far Cry 3 was amazing. I went into the game not knowing what it was. The main character gets into the island not knowing what the island is, so I'm discovering the same time he is, and it was just like the perfect synergy, you know? And then every other game I kind of played after that just felt... You know, it's just kind of... and I really liked Assassin's Creed games. I got Origins, played it for a bit, and it just felt...
Same old.
Repetitive again,
Yeah, I felt that same way about this one. So I'm trying to like continue playing one game a month. So just to give myself something to do. So like one of the things we talked about last episode, the episode of Ali Abdal, right? That book, it talked about like building your hobbies into your life. So I'm consciously... trying to build in more hobbies into my life that I don't think about as monetary. Like even with like sewing, I talked about picking up a sewing machine. Like, but that's because I do want to get into clothes design myself. I don't know if I don't know how successful I'll be ever, but I want to get into it. So I've been consuming a lot of sewing content like on YouTube and TikTok. So I've been doing that a lot, but I'm conscious like how many hobbies do I want that are gonna be like monetary based or like,
but sometimes
that's
what he was kind of talking about, to actually have some stuff that isn't really monetary.
So like I know football is one for me, watching football, playing football, and then gaming is one for me. But they're so I feel like because I've grown up doing that all the time, like they're just so obvious that I want something different. So then I start looking out for different things like rock climbing. I enjoyed that. I think did you try it?
Nah, I didn't.
I think you actually enjoyed it.
I did it a while ago. It was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, I think it's good fun, man. Fishing, good fun. I want to keep on I want to try do more of these things like going forward. But scheduling them in is just quite difficult. But it's all about, like I said, building the environment that you want to be able to do these things. So that's something that I'm working towards this year. And I'm like consciously limiting myself. Okay, one video game a month. Don't buy it anymore because before I had a whole list of games like my Steam library and stuff. Even on my PlayStation library, I had them and I just never played them. So now I'm like, I'm gonna get one game. I'll play it till I finish. Even if I don't like it, I'll just finish it. So like, I banged that Creed in like 1 week, even though I was not enjoying it. But I felt good about completing it. So like the next game I'm gonna play is Spider-Man 2. So I just want to keep on doing that. But also with books as well, and I can kind of do that as well. Just pick one book, but pick it with the intention and like the fact that I know that it might have some value in it and it's worth reading, and then move on. Even if I finish it and I don't like it, is what it is. And that's how life I feel like growing up was.
Yeah.
Like you picked up a game because you thought it would be good, and then you played it, even if it might have been challenging or it might not have been as good, but you still had the idea like, oh, I'm gonna pick this game because I think it looks good.
Damn right.
It's not just about like hoarding stuff. Like I feel like as adults we kind of grown to become. So I'm trying to like tap back into that feeling, you know.
Yeah, say less. Nah, 100%, and that's definitely what I'll be definitely looking into doing as well. And it's all part of the, like I said, aesthetic productivity, and that's what it is, doing stuff that you enjoy. And that's the motive for this year. So yeah, that's been us.
Yeah.
Again, your boys from papertrailspodcast. Like I said, this is a home for creatives, so feel welcome. You know, get yourselves comfortable. We got a long season ahead of us, and make sure you set up that environment that you need in order to make sure you achieve what you want this year. And
and if you're consuming anything interesting, let us know. Hit us up.
Let us know.
Drop us
Or
an
if you
email.
have any recommendations, we'll definitely take them on.
Yeah. All our details in the description. And thank you very much for listening.
See you guys in the next one.
Keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.